Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. In today's video I'll show you the best Lunar client settings to make it as clean as possible, and the end result will look something like what you see on my Lunar client screen right now. Obviously you can customize it to your liking. If you like my content I would appreciate a subscription. You can always change your mind later. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so firstly I will be showing you all the mods that you can see on the screen or on my game and what I did to make those as clean as possible. So I have toggle sprint on, and I just have it on white, and I didn't really mess around with anything here. I just have fly boost activated. Why not? And these should all be the default settings. You don't have to change anything in there, and toggle sprint or toggle sneak, whatever you want to call it, is in general a really good thing to have, and it helps with PvP. Potion effects, for these I have basically everything default, and I have the duration color into a very light gray, so it kind of fits in with the white. And yeah, it's just the default settings, so you don't really have to change anything there except for the color. Hypixel mod, I just have auto, who is actually more for pot PvP. I don't know why it's in the Hypixel mod, but I have item physics on as well, and this is just when you toss an item down it'll rotate, and sometimes it'll become a 2D item as well. It looks a lot nicer in my opinion. I have a very slow rotation speed. And for keystrokes I have everything on transparent, so you cannot see anything until I press any key or something like that. If I click the left mouse button, see that it only shows that. Same with WASD and space and the right mouse button. I think like that looks a lot better. The next thing I have enabled is FPS, and I just have it default except for the text color, and the background color I do have transparent because it is a boxed mod, whatever you call those. Nope, that is not. But I think it looks a lot nicer transparent. I don't know why my FPS is so bad. Okay, never mind. It's back. The next mod I have is a custom crosshair mod, and my settings for my crosshair is I have it outlined, I have a cross, my thickness is 1, my length is 4.0, my gap is 2.5, and my dot size is 1, although I do not have my dot enabled. Sometimes I will, but most of the time I do not. And I have dynamic colors on. This just means when you're looking at like a player, for example, it will change to one of these colors, and it can be good for, well, actually there's not really a good purpose for it, it just looks cool. I have mine on the same light gray that I have for the potion status. The next mod I have is block outline, and this is just a simple outline. It's at 7 width. The width is 7. You can't see it in the lobby right now, but it's not that wide, and I think it looks good. So my next mod that I have is particle multiplier. This is obviously optional, and if you crank it up all the way to the top it looks really bad. I have mine at 2, and I have all of these boxes checked. So scoreboard, for this I would recommend having hide numbers off. This just takes away all the red numbers on the side. Text shadow, there's not really a point in it. If you want you can have it. I think it actually looks a little bit nicer without it. Border makes a border. I would not recommend having a border unless you have a color, and I don't have a color. As you can see, my background color is transparent, and I think that makes it look a lot nicer. The next mod I have is free look, and I have my mode on 3rd and my invert pitch and invert yaw unchecked, and my button is C if anyone's wondering. The next mod I have is shiny pots, and I have show potion color unchecked. I just like the default enchantment background glint, whatever the shininess, the default shininess, whatever it's called. That will wrap it up for my Lunar client settings. Those are some of the most fire settings you'll ever see in the whole wide world. That is obviously not being biased whatsoever. yeah, stay safe, have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Pampana,